What's up guys, today we'll be going over the new Void Bow in Act 2, the Anamnesis, and this scene is kind of amazing and has a lot of great rolls. So in this video we're going to be breaking down what rolls you want on the scene and how good it is. So jumping right in, there's going to be a lot to talk about. Let's go and start off with the left column. So first you have the two draw time reducing perks. First you have the classic of Archer's Tempo. After every precision hit, you'll get a 25% decrease to the draw time for 3 seconds, but the better perk will be Successful Warm-Up, where each final blow will reduce the draw speed by 37.5% for 6 seconds, and every kill will add 4 seconds to the timer, so you can get the timer of the buff up to 20 seconds. So as long as you're getting kills with the bow, and this bow is going to be a lot about accuracy, this is going to be just even faster charge time than Archer's Tempo. Archer's Tempo is still useful if you're doing something where you're not getting final blows. Let's say you're just doing like pure boss damage with Charged Titan. Archer's Tempo would be better in that situation, but for most things, I would go with Successful Warm-Up. But in the left, we also have two other very interesting perks. First, we have Repulsor Brace, where when we defeat a Void debuff target, we'll get the Overshield. And this is a perk that you either love it or you hate it. I think Overshields are good, and with how often we'll be killing Void debuff targets with this weapon, that is just straight up more health, more DR, and it'll help you stay alive. So definitely a very solid perk on this bow. And the fourth perk will be Dragonfly, where on Precision Final Blow, it'll create the Void Elemental Explosion. And I think that will be a very interesting combo with a lot of perks in the right. So by far, the best perk in the right is going to be Destabilizing Rounds. As you guys could probably guess, this is the best PvP perk in the game after the update, where it now gives you Volatile Rounds. And I feel like every video we've talked about with a Void weapon, this is the perk to use. It's great for low tier Actor. It scales into harder content, being the same as Jolt, where it's going to be a debuff to the target that can reproc over and over again. And I would pair that with any of the 4 perks in left I mentioned. One of the 2 draw time, Archers or Successful Warm-Up. Obviously it's going to be great with Repulsor Brace. Every single final blow with a bow with the Volatile Rounds going will give you the Overshield. And finally, I do think it's actually really good with Dragonfly. Usually I'm not a fan of double AoE explosive perks because it's kind of overkill. So for example, Dragonfly plus Firefly I think is just kind of pointless, because for the most part, if someone's going to die from Dragonfly, they're also going to die from Firefly. You don't really need both. And in harder content where you do need both explosions, at that point I'd rather just have a damage perk to get to the final blow quicker, instead of, like, you know, taking 4 arrows just to get the final blow, then hoping the explosion kills everything. But the major difference with Destab compared to something like Firefly is when you combine that with Dragonfly, Dragonfly is going to be great for killing all the low tier enemies nearby instantly. The Dragonfly explosion happens right away on the Precision Final Blow, while Destab spreads the volatile to things nearby and doesn't necessarily explode right away. So unlike other double explosive perks, these 2 perks don't explode at the same time. Dragonfly is going to be instantly, and Destab is going to be a little bit delayed. So that combo isn't overkill at all. It actually is great for scaling in any type of content. Dragonfly is going to be great for the low health targets. Then Destab is going to allow the bow to scale to higher health targets by applying volatile and being able to reproc it on a single target over and over. So I actually do think that is a very good perk combo that will allow this bow to shine in really any type of content. And you can kind of get away with not using a draw time left column perk due to the origin trait, which we'll talk about later in the video. And as we talked about with all the Void weapons this season, you can get Volatile and Destab going through the artifact. So this season, you don't necessarily need this perk. In future seasons, it is 100% the perk you want. But right now, you can take advantage of other things. So you could take advantage of Demoralize instead to get the 15% Void weaken going whenever you get the Precision Final Blows. And once again, this perk is good, but you can kind of do the same thing through the artifact. So we look past that one also. Once again, I think that would be a good perk in future seasons. The perk you could use instead right now would just be a damage perk, whether that be Adagio, Explosive Head for, let's say, like GMs, or I think the best would be Sword Logic for the scaling damage increase depending on what type of enemy you kill. So overall, what are the roles I am going for? Well, first off, all of the Destab combos. The 3 I want is going to be Dragonfly, Successful Warm-Up, and Repulsor Brace. Archer's Tempo is also fine if you get one. But I think with D-Save, obviously you're going to be using the bow mostly for Actor, and successful warm-up just lasts longer and is a greater reduction of the draw time. So I'll just go with that perk instead. And those are the 3 main ones to get for sure. The other 2 I'd keep along the way that would be really good this season and still good in future seasons would just be Dragonfly plus Demoralize, then Dragonfly plus Sword Logic. And those 3 D-Save rolls are all of them be great for different things. Dragonfly's gonna be great for AoE Actor. Successful warm-ups is gonna be just good all around. And the final one is Repulsive Brace if you need more health and survivability. And the one thing that really sets this bow apart from other Void bows and just legendary bows in the game is definitely its 2 origin traits, both of which will reduce the draw time of the weapon. So look at mine with a draw time masterwork with nothing going on, no perk, no origin trait. It's gonna be 0.48. Then with Willing Vessel times 5, which you just need to get hits or kills to stack up, 0.38. So 100 milliseconds faster than with Archer's Tempo, 0.28. I don't have one with warm up. I think it would take it to like 0.25. But either way, that is obviously pretty quick for a bow. And that's definitely the thing that makes this bow stand out, is that you can kind of take advantage of that Dragonfly D-Stave or that Repulsive Brace D-Stave and still have great draw time just through the origin trait. And one thing I have seen people say is that this is a good bow to replace the Monarque in Bolt Charge Titan builds and kind of get away with using legendary instead of an exotic. And my opinion on that is they're just straight up lying, or they just fundamentally don't understand what makes the Monarque good for Bolt Charge Titan. And the difference is with the legendary bow, every Void bow this season can get volatile rounds going. So all the bows are going to be good for getting your barricade back in the build with the bonus on volatile marksman. But for Bolt Charge stacks, this bow gets 1 stack of Bolt Charge every other hit. So to get a full 10 stacks of Bolt Charge, it will take 20 hits with the bow, which is obviously a lot, right? And with the Monarque, what makes it so good for Bolt Charges is that it has the ticking poison damage, and every tick of the poison also counts to proc Bolt Charge. So where it took 20 arrow hits with the legendary bow to get 10 stacks, with the Monarque, it takes only 3. So yeah, that's like 7 times faster. It's not even close. And then when you are behind a barricade, it takes roughly 4 arrows with the legendary bow to get the Bolt Charge. And once again with the Monarque, every single bow you shoot behind a barricade will proc the Bolt Charge. So once again, like 4 times faster. It's not even close. And like we mentioned, where with the artifact this season, where every Void weapon can get volatile going and even the Void weaken going, why were we waiting for this bow to be their legendary replacement of the Monarque? I can take any Void bow out of my vault and it would be the same. This bow does have the benefit of the faster draw time through the origin trait, but for the purpose of the Bolt Charge Titan build, you can pull out a blue Void bow and it would practically be the same as this. So yeah, it's definitely not a replacement for the Monarque in that build. Monarque is just so good at proccing Bolt Charge that it is worth the exotic slot. So if you were going to use the bow on that build, just use the Monarque. It's just that good. But obviously, with that being said, this bow is incredible. This season, like a lot of Void weapons, it's kind of redundant to have these perks because you can already have the effects from the artifact. But in future seasons, absolutely going to be one of the best PvE weapons in the game. So definitely worth getting. And yeah, I think that's be it for the video. Let me know what role you want down below. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.